Ali Fox took his son to the fried chicken store to buy waste oil here. Seeing that, the staff asked him if he bought that oil for cooking. Ali just looked and smiled. Didn't you get a proper education as a child? This oil just needs to be filtered and discarded its residue. Then put natrium methoxide in it. And when it heats up, it becomes biodiesel. This is specialized truck oil, so is it worth the money? When Ali and his son were preparing to leave, suddenly there was a policewoman blocking their way. It was 10 a.m. at this moment, and the kids should be at school. However, Ali's son named Charlie was still here. Seeing this, Charlie immediately said that this was his classroom. And he was also practicing his lesson. The policewoman asked again, "What lesson did you learn with this truck?" Charlie picked up the oil barrel and replied, "It is physical education. Why can't you see?" The policewoman asked Ali why he didn't send his son to school. "So can you give your son an education certificate at home?" But Ali couldn't tell the policewoman that. His family was so poor that he had no money to send his son to school. So he immediately told the policewoman, "Our state's education system requires teaching children general abilities. However, the ability is a large and difficult category to measure. So I'll make it short for you. My wife will teach children to study literature and learn to draw. And I will be in charge of teaching them math, physics, chemistry. If you want to check, I can ask my son to fix the engine for you. At the same time, he can read you some poems." At this time, Charlie was sitting in the truck and looking at the bill. He was thinking about something. The policewoman didn't even know what to say. Although she knew Ali was talking nonsense, she couldn't do anything. So she had to let him go. Actually, Ali was a poor scientist. He often invented things that ordinary people couldn't understand. Like this ice machine from fire that didn't release any waste. Ali showed off his invention to Charlie. But his son said, "We already have a refrigerator to make ice. So you don't have to make this machine." However, Ali rejected Charlie's opinion. For places where there is no electricity, how can you use a refrigerator? So we will go to poor countries to introduce this product. In order that locals can use it to preserve food. Wait until we get the exclusive brand, we will be rich. Charlie secretly thought that his father was a noble father. That while his family was impoverished. His father also thought about areas in countries without electricity. Ali went to the farm to work part-time. He was a person who loved to learn things around. He studied Spanish with illegal immigrants. Ali was also very interested in mathematics. When the boss opened the safe and took the money to pay him, he immediately memorized the password of the safe and repeated it many times. After going home, his wife named Margot took a letter from the copyright office from the mailbox. Ali opened the letter to see. After that, he seemed very disappointed. It turned out his invention wasn't licensed. This made Ali's family life even more difficult. That night, Margot expressed her displeasure. "In the past 9 years, we have changed a lot. And now we're so poor that we can't even pay the bank anymore. Can I call my parents and ask them to send us some money?" Ali immediately refused. He was planning to move house. Ali took out a lot of ship blueprints and said that their family would live on the ship. No one could find them. After hearing that, Margot just smiled. She was very excited and agreed to this plan of her husband. But their next problem was to earn money to build the ship. After that, Ali went to find the owner of the farm. He intended to sell that owner the ice machine from fire. However, the farm owner wasn't stupid, he flatly refused. Ali's deal also failed. He and his son had to leave. But at this moment, there was a car appearing and following them. Ali quickly turned around and drove into the landfill to hide. Charlie looked at the car that was following them and thought that the people of the bank came to collect the debt. But Ali didn't think so. The people who worked at the bank wouldn't follow them to the landfill. On the way home, Ali took out the scanner to look for radio signals. Ali heard the policeman calling for more people to come towards his house. Ali asked his son to quickly pack all belongings after coming home. This was the same as their previous escapes. Meanwhile, after the police received a notice, they immediately gathered their forces and went to Ali's house. Ali and his son also quickly arrived home. They started packing up all their things and informed Margot that the police were coming. So they needed to hide and not use the phone. They didn't know why they were discovered by the police anymore. Margot suddenly remembered that yesterday was her mother's birthday. So she called her mother. And maybe her home phone was tapped. At this point, they had to quickly escape from here. Ali asked his wife to take the children and leave, and told them to go to a motel at the rest stop and wait for him. Meanwhile, he would lure the policemen. After escaping the police pursuit, he would reunite with them. But after hearing about the family moving, his daughter immediately became very angry. She didn't want to continue with this sneaky life. When her mother wasn't paying attention, she left a note and sneaked away. So Margot had to take her son first. When the two of them just left the house, There were 5 police cars coming to their house. At this point, Ali attracted the attention of the police. After he drove away for a while. Arriving on an empty road, Ali immediately threw a lot of nails into the road. After that, he got in the car and drove away. Therefore, the police cars that followed him were nailed. Hearing the car brakes, Ali was extremely happy and laughed. He quickly arrived at the appointed place. But when he received the news that his daughter had left, he was extremely worried and went everywhere looking for her. Suddenly Ali thought of something. He immediately called his mother-in-law. He knew that his daughter had just called his mother-in-law. But when his mother-in-law asked if it was his daughter, Ali immediately hung up and ran to the train station. As expected, his daughter was here and waited for the train to go to Grandma's house. When Ali was just about to tell his daughter why they had to run away, the police suddenly appeared. Ali hastily asked his daughter to drive to find her mother, and he would stay to deal with the police. The police also knew that Ali wasn't simple, so they immediately knocked him down with stun guns. Unexpectedly, his daughter named Dina was waiting for the red light and saw this. She immediately made a very bold decision. She then crashed into the police car and broke the glass to save her father out. They quickly got into the car and drove away. Ali looked at his brave daughter, and he realized that his daughter also inherited that courage from him. This movie is an American drama television series called The Mosquito Coast. So far, the true identity of the male lead of the drama has not been revealed. But when we look at the main character's personality, the son's admiration for him, and the wife's unconditional trust, Ali Fox is probably a powerful character. If you like the movie, let's follow to know more about it.